Hello students. So today's point of discussion is chemical properties of glucose. Now, as far as properties of glucose are concerned, it is expected from glucose to show all the properties shown by aldehydes as it is aldohexose, we know very well. Now let's see some of the properties of it. So very first property to be discussed right here is reduction reaction. Now, what comes on reduction? I mean, when glucose is reduced, what will be the product that entirely depend upon the reducing agent chosen? First of all, if glucose is reduced by, I mean, let's see the reduction by red phosphorus and HI. Remember, mixture of red phosphorus and HI is a potent reducing agent. Glucose can be given in this manner: CHO, CHOH by 4, CH2OH. So this is the open chain structure of glucose. Now remember, when glucose is reduced by red phosphorus and HI, then see what happens. Glucose get reduced and lead to the formation of normal hexane. So, production of normal hexane suggests that the glucose show open chain structure. Remember, this is N-hexane. So, when we reduce glucose by using red phosphorus and HI, N-hexane is obtained as a product. So, formation of N-hexane suggests that the glucose have open chain structure. Now, if same glucose is reduced by using sodium amalgam and water. So let's see reduction by sodium amalgam and water. Remember, when we reduce glucose using this, then sorbitol is obtained. So glucose can be given as CHO, CHOH by 4, CH2OH. This is glucose. Now, when we reduce same, I mean glucose, by using sodium amalgam and water. So remember what reducing agent does. It undergoes self-oxidation, providing nascent hydrogen. And these nascent hydrogens will get added to the site, I mean at aldehyde group. And thereby, the sorbitol is obtained. So sorbitol can be given in this manner. So formation of sorbitol suggests that there is an aldehyde group which is get affected during the course of this. So in this manner, we can explain that the glucose shows open chain structure first of all, and it contain aldehyde group as well. Now, next property, let's see the reaction of glucose with hydrogen cyanide, that is HCl. So remember, we know very well that aldehydes react with hydrogen cyanide producing corresponding cyanohydrines. So glucose do the same. So glucose can be given in this manner: CHO, this is the aldehyde group, then CHOH by 4, CH2OH. This can be the structure of glucose. When glucose is allowed to react with HCl, then nucleophilic addition is expected. So nucleophilic addition takes place in this manner, and that lead to the formation of such type of product. This is none other than the addition product, what we call cyanohydrine of glucose. This is the cyanohydrine of glucose, or in simple one can say glucose cyanohydrine. So formation of glucose cyanohydrine indicates the presence of aldehyde group in a glucose. Now next very important thing, let's see reaction of glucose with NH2OH. NH2OH is none other than hydroxylamine. We know very well that aldehydes prefer to react with hydroxylamine producing corresponding oxides. Glucose does the same. So glucose, let's see how glucose can be represented. So glucose can be given in this manner. We know very well glucose is aldohexose. And if glucose is allowed to react with hydroxylamine, then being ammonia derivative, addition elimination reaction would be expected right here. So upon addition elimination, we would get the oxime of glucose that can be given as. So remember, this is the oxime of glucose, what we call glucoxime. So formation of glucoxime indicates the presence of aldehyde group in glucose as well. Now, next to that, very important oxidation reaction. Now, oxidation reaction is a confirmative reaction. I mean, using oxidation, one can confirm the presence of primary alcoholic OH group as well as aldehyde group. So let's see oxidation of glucose. Now, oxidation, I mean, product of oxidation, damn depend upon the oxidizing agent chosen. So let's see oxidation by bromine water. Oxidation by bromine water. So remember, bromine water is a mild oxidizing agent. Thus, when glucose is oxidized by using bromine water, then aldehyde group will get oxidized to carboxyl group. I mean, bromine water is capable of oxidizing only aldehydic group. So this is the glucose. When this glucose is oxidized by bromine water, then being a mild oxidizing agent, easily oxidizable aldehyde group will get oxidized to carboxyl group. So the product obtained right here will be this, and this is known as gluconic acid. So formation of gluconic acid indicates the presence of aldehyde group in a glucose. But instead using what bromine water, if glucose is oxidized by using dilute nitric acid. So remember, nitric acid is a potent oxidizing agent. It has ability to oxidize both of the ends of the glucose. I mean, glucose can be given in this manner. This is none other than glucose. And remember, glucose contain aldehyde group as well as primary alcoholic OH group. So when this glucose is oxidized by dilute nitric acid, the nitric acid undergoes self-reduction, providing nascent oxygen, which subsequently attack the both of the ends of the glucose. So this aldehyde group will get converted into carboxyl group, and this primary alcoholic group will also get converted into carboxyl group as well. So the product obtained right here will be this, and this happens to be the dicarboxylic acid, what we call saccharic acid. So bottom line is, when glucose is oxidized by dilute nitric acid, then saccharic acid is expected, and formation of saccharic acid indicates the presence of primary alcoholic OH group in glucose. Now, how to know the number of hydroxyl groups in glucose? So, to make sure that glucose consists of what, 5 hydroxyl groups in it, among which one is primary alcoholic OH and other four are secondary alcoholic OH. So, to know there are 5 hydroxyl groups, we need to carry out acetylation reaction. So let's see acetylation of glucose. Now remember, acetylation can be carried out either by using acetic anhydride or by using acetyl chloride. So this is none other than glucose. We know very well that glucose consists of 5 OH groups. So when we treat this glucose with acetic anhydride, then what happens? All the OH groups will get acetylated. Remember, this is none other than acetic anhydride. So acetic anhydride react with glucose, and thereby all the hydroxyl groups will get acetylated. So upon acetylation of all the OH groups in glucose, the product so obtained will be this product. So this is the ultimate product so obtained with the departure of acetic acid as a byproduct. So this is none other than the glucose pentaacetate, or one can say pentaacetyl glucose. So formation of glucose pentaacetate indicates the presence of 5 hydroxyl groups in the molecule of glucose. So these are some of the properties of glucose. Thank you very much.